Hello, I welcome everybody who has joined us now. Media Center Ukraine of Ukrinform is going on with its work, and the whole team of ours would like to congratulate you with the Day of the Flag of Ukraine. We wish the most important thing for all of us, that is victory. So we prepared the following events for you. At 12:30 p.m. we'll have a very interesting meeting with two characters and heroes who will tell about the historic salvage of the Ukrainian flag. At 2 p.m. we'll meet with journalists. That will be an expert meeting as for the results of 6 months of the war. We'll be speaking about the state perspectives and the possible scenarios at the front line. And just now we are in touch with Vitaly Kim, head of Mykolaiv Oblast Military Administration. Hello, Vitaly. Hello, everybody, and I congratulate all of you. Hello, the same to you. Vitaly, what was the previous day at Mykolaiv, in Mykolaiv region? Well, in Mykolaiv region, the previous day was more calm and quiet than usual. We saw one missile over the sea, and it was hit by our air defense system. That is the air missile. The whole contact line in Bashtan and Mykolaiv districts were shelled. As for the communities of Shirokivka and other communities, we have one civilian dead, and that's it. Mykolaiv today did not have any shellings during the night. Vitaly, how are you getting ready to tomorrow? Tomorrow we will celebrate the Day of Independence, and we unfortunately understand that the security situation may be deteriorating. What are the measures you are taking? Which recommendations could you give to the local residents? Look, we were really waiting last year for the Independence Day, but this year, we will not organize any celebrations and festivities. I would recommend to the people to celebrate it out there in the nature. We did not close the city, we did not add any hours for the curfew, but we understand that the threat is increasing. So remotely, we are working with communal enterprises all over the city and the region. So we advise you to be really don't neglect the rules of security. Take care about your own safety. As for the curfew, will it be as long as usually, or did you take the decision to make it longer? No, it will be as always. We will strengthen the control, but we do not restrict people as for moving or any other way. We recently have seen the statement of the General Staff about the partial success of the Russian aggressor in the direction of Mykolaiv. So could you please comment on that? Partial success is just the name, because they are just closer to the village, and that's it. 500 meters is their success. I cannot comment upon that more, but I think that our armed forces will soon restore the situation and will provide you with the comments. What's the situation in Mykolaiv Oblast about the critical infrastructure? Is everything provided? Is everything working? Now the situation is under control, everything is working totally. Besides that, we are dealing with the restoration of the private buildings and not only the objects of critical infrastructure, the communal transport and all of the services are working in the usual mode, but a bit longer. We saw that yesterday Mykolaiv region has signed a memorandum about the cooperation with Denmark. Could you please tell about this event a bit more? It consists of two parts. There was the meeting in the presidential office of the Prime Minister of Denmark, where there was the deal about certain steps to get help from Denmark to restore Mykolaiv region and the city of Mykolaiv. And the mayor signed the memorandum to check the corrupt risks by the Danish experts, to have transparent cooperation and not to have any reputational risks in Mykolaiv. Dear colleagues, If there are any questions, please. Oksana Polishuk, Ukrinform, could you please tell a bit about the economy of the region? What's the current situation with the revenue part of the budget? And how do you prepare to the heating season? And what's about harvesting, in a nutshell, if you may? This is also... Well, we need to answer separately. As for the budget, as we have the military units located, we have so far the good allocation of budget, of money. But as for business activities and the turnover money, lots of enterprises are not working. At least 12 biggest ones are not functioning. So it's not okay with the businesses. As for the harvesting, we harvested more than 80% of the sown of the yield. So we are planning the sowing campaign, and we are planning and cooperating with the government to include our districts which are closer to the combat areas, for them to get the loans according to the program of 579 and to get the grant, because there are some of the legal collisions. And what other question did you pose about? The heating season. The heating season. Yes, as for the heating season, we are getting ready to it for 2 months in a row. As soon as possible, we are forming the reserves, and we are expecting for some terroristic acts from the aggressor, from the adversary in the beginning of the season. We try to get ready to that. We are not insured from force majeures, but now everything is done according to the schedule, and we are trying to begin it in time. One more question about the tourist season. The Mykolaiv region had a very hard season, of course, but still some of the tourist objects were working. What are the outcomes? Could you share? The tourist season of Mykolaiv region this year was not there at all. It did not exist. The businesses which were working in the tourist sector were involved to help both in volunteers and the armed forces to accommodate the refugees, the displaced persons, the children. So we're trying to find the ways to, for help and for the next season to restore their activities. So we cannot even speak about any tourists now. We are speaking only about the survival of businesses and enterprises. Maybe there are some of the separate cases, but altogether the tourist season did not exist this year. Thank you. Then one more question. How will you organize the academic year, especially the high schools in academic, taking into account that 3 leading universities were shelled? 3 universities were really shelled, but all of the teachers and professors are totally intact and alive, and the commissions have a very high percentage of the students, so the academic year will begin on time, because the university has additional premises where the conditions are not as good as usual, but it will be conducted, the theoretical and the practical part, some of them will be conducted online. As for the academic year of the secondary schools and kindergartens, less than 5% will be done offline, only in the safe parts of the city. And also we have such a practice that the parents themselves will take the decision whether their form or grade would like to have tuition online or offline. They could combine they could be united into the groups which would need offline training. This system will be adaptive. We are working on that together with the Ministry of Education. Vitaly, we've got one more online question about Voznesensk and the shelling of the multi-storied building. Could you comment on that? Are there casualties? These were the missiles of caliber type which was launched against Voznesensk city. The precision of this missile is up to 2 meters, so I think this is the terroristic act for Voznesensk. Well, for Russians, as Russians think that they wanted to show Voznesensk that they can do that. This was the very direct hit against the residential 5-storied building. Do you know anything about casualties? Yes, I do, but I cannot tell you now. I need to get prepared to this question. There were 4 children there. So as of now, I don't want to provide you with deceitful information. Okay, thank you. I will remind you that was Vitaly Kim, the head of Mykolaiv Regional Military Administration. Thank you for finding time and joining our air, dear colleagues. I remind you that the next briefing will take place at 12:30 p.m., so stay with us.